today's Ford Model A Q&A.
Today's question is a twofer.
Twofer.
The original question came from Donald.
Hi, Donald.
And then some guy named Jooster or something like that.
Hi, some guy named
Kinda
Jooster.
keyed in probably on the same thing and asked basically the same thing. Donald says, can you tell me if a steering box is a 7-tooth or a 2-tooth gearbox by looking?
Yes.
And then the other guy says, please explain the difference between a 2 and a 7-tooth steering box in the next video. So I figure they're kind of both the same sort of kind of, right?
Let's start by pointing out what a 2-tooth looks like versus a 7-tooth. And I'll start with this car because this has a 2-tooth steering box in it. Say that 5 times fast.
There's no way I'm going to get through it.
This is a 2-tooth steering box, and you can tell that by this adjustment right here, which is the preload on the upper bearing, and then there's this little fill plug right here. That's a 2-tooth. Now let me show you a 7-tooth. This is a 7-tooth box. You'll notice that there's just this fill plug up here. There's no adjustment for the upper bearing preload right here. That's a 7-tooth. So mechanically, this is the difference between a 2-tooth and a 7-tooth, to answer the second question. So you'll see this shaft right here, this is what drives the idler arm. This has 2 teeth on it, and up here, this worm gear is what interfaces with that on a 2-tooth steering box. Now, let's look at a 7-tooth. This is a 7-tooth steering box. You'll see the sector right here, how there's 7 little itty-bitty teeth on it right there. That goes against this special worm gear that drives it. Problem with 7-tooth steering boxes is there isn't a lot of adjustment. Yes, if it's a fresh rebuild, they're pretty tight, they work fine. But they loosen up over time, and there's no way to adjust that out. You're pretty much stuck rebuilding it again.
Keep those Model A's driving for generations to come.